Hello and welcome back to Future Forward by CallMiner, the series where we dig into enterprise conversation intelligence, CX automation and AI-powered customer engagement with people who actually do this stuff day in and day out. If you're in CX or contact centers, or you're just interested in how automation and analytics are reshaping industries like financial services, healthcare, retail, telecom and tech, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, I'm joined by Jon Lamont, who spent years working at the Centre of Contact Centre Transformation and Automation. Jon, it's great to have you here. So let's jump in. We keep hearing that the contact centre is becoming autonomous. So for a lot of people, that sounds a little bit sci-fi, or maybe just a polite way of saying agents are going to be replaced. So what does that mean in practice?
Yeah, well, thanks, Alex. Yeah, I think for folks who've been in the call center industry, we've seen this promise of automation or machine learning taking over for the last decade plus. I think it's really shifted in the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, the headlines can definitely sound a little dramatic, but the reality, it's much more practical. You know, what we're seeing is a shift away from AI supporting agents, right, and tools that help them become better, AI summaries, recommended next steps, to often what we're calling agentic AI, right? And so that's where AI doesn't just assist the customers or assist the agents, it's actually taking ownership of certain tasks. So think about it, if instead of just surfacing information, now it's going to go complete actions like taking your payment, updating your account details, resolving delivery issues. You know, it's moved from just recommending and surfacing information to really thinking through what that customer needs based on the data it has access to. So picture a customer calling in from a parking lot because their delivery is late. You know, they're trying to make dinner happen. In the old model, they're going to wait on the line, talk to maybe a non-intelligent IVR, tell them what they need, enter their information. Then they're going to an agent where the agent's going to ask them the exact same questions again, have them repeat their zip code, explain the issue, hope they can find the right screen. Now, the agentic AI model bypasses all that. The system already knows where the order is. It sees the delay. It's going to offer that next best action to them, and it's going to confirm the fix, write the summary, and send any notifications or documentation that needs to go out. So the real shift is less work and less friction for the customers, less repetitive, non-complex work for the human agents, and overall the resolution rates and the customer satisfaction rates continue to go up.
So we're literally talking about a true end-to-end resolution, and it's all handled directly by the system.
Yeah, and just as importantly, I think it's not only reactive, it can be proactive, right? So based on the data that you have, for example, a customer might get notified about a potential delivery delay before they even think that it's going to be delayed, right? Before that day even comes. So, that's going to change the dynamic completely on how you're solving and interacting with your customers and giving them that wow factor in advance and setting proper expectations for the service you're providing them.
And that's actually a really big shift. So where does that leave the human agents?
Yeah, I mean, the doom and gloom headlines say all the jobs are going to be taken by AI, but you also got what's becoming quite a cliche statement right now, but very true. It's the customer service or the frontline representatives who are utilizing AI who will take the jobs of people who aren't utilizing AI. And I think about it as basically a superpower, all-knowing assistant to the front line that can automate and augment some of the interactions that customers are calling for, but then also help the agents themselves, our human representatives, our humans in the loop, know exactly what's been done so they can take those next steps. So really it's about elevating the experience overall, not just for the customers, but now you're giving the employees, the humans who are handling those front lines, your voice and your ear of the customer, so to speak. You're allowing them to grow, do higher complexity work, and learn new skills along the way and learn how to interact with systems as they're developing.
Yeah, that's really cool. And from a business standpoint, what does that shift look like for the organization overall?
Well, I mean, ultimately, it's going to come down to the organizational goals, but you're typically going to see extreme, meaningful cost reductions. Sometimes those can be very, very significant at scale, depending on the number or the volume that you're talking about. But at the same time, customer satisfaction is going to improve. The easier you can make it for your customer to get to the resolution that they were contacting you about, I mean, everybody wins, right? You don't have to wait on hold. Your agents don't have to take that 7th password reset call of the day. And ultimately, the customers feel like they've got their own personal assistant working for them that's consistent 100% of the time.
So what's enabling all of this right now? Why does it feel like it's accelerating?
Well, I think ultimately, I'd say first, AI has moved from pilot mode to production at scale, right? The call center AI market, I think, was projected to grow from about 3.25 billion in 25 up to 4 billion in 26. And then it's looking at right around 11 billion by 2030. So it's not a fad. It's not a bubble. It is a new paradigm shift on how brands, customers are interacting with one another. And secondly, the experience is finally credible, right? So ever since we'll call it the ChatGPT moment, conversational AI hit the mainstream, people could talk with a machine and it felt human, it felt empathetic, it felt like it was actually hearing and listening to you. And it could respond with, at that particular point, stuff that made sense, right? Based on whatever you were saying. And that advancement, that exponential growth that we've seen over the last few years, I think has dramatically improved the overall capabilities, not only with the voice and the empathy, but the comprehension and the reasoning capabilities as well as we move into the agentic model. It's really mind-blowing what can be done today. And then the third, the tech stack's ready. Yeah, CSaaS platforms, APIs, CRMs, transcription, analytics, all of those things are now part of the orchestration flow, right? They let AI do more than answer just questions. We can tap into each one of those systems. It's going to recognize the customer, understand their issue, complete the task, and document that back into the systems or databases that are important for the organization to understand what's going on.
As we wrap up, the future of the contact center isn't human-less. It's really a combination of autonomous systems and human agents, each playing to their strengths.
Exactly. I mean, the term human in the loop, I don't think is going to go away, but the winners are not going to be the companies who automate the most and keep their customers away from talking to their employees. They'll be the ones that automate the right things, hand off the things that we might not want to automate or are too complex to automate, or even where the customer wants a choice. Like, I want to talk to a person, right? And that should, in my opinion, always be there. So the future contact center is really not a race to remove humans. Sure, there's going to be less need for the same amount of headcount because you're going to resolve the same amount of things with a lot less production hours needed. But it's going to be a redesign of that work. Automation for the fast, repeatable, data-driven moments. And people are going to be there for the moments that need empathy, judgment, and human connection.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Jon, and thanks to everybody who's watching. If you've seen autonomous systems in action, or you just have a perspective on where human touch matters most, drop it in the comments and we'll see you next time.